Hello everyone, I'm here with the next presentation on the interview by Christopher Sylvester from the book Flamingo, Class 12th. Before moving on for the chapter, let's know about the author. Christopher Sylvester, born in the year 1959, was educated at Lancing College, Sussex, and Peterhouse, Cambridge, where he read history from 1983 to 1994. He worked for Private Eye, initially writing the New Boys column. He has written for several newspapers and magazines. He is also the editor of the Penguin Book of Interviews, an anthology from 1859 to the present day, and the author of the Pimlico Companion to Parliament. He currently writes obituaries for the Times of London and book reviews. He is writing 3-volume social history of Hollywood for Penguin Books. The essay is an extract from the introduction to the Penguin Book of Interviews. It discusses the interview as a communication genre that has come to stay. Part 1 gives us two contrasting opinions about interviews, their functions, merits, and methods. It also tells about the importance of interview as a medium of conversation. Our most vivid impression of our contemporaries are through interviews. Therefore, the interviewer holds a position of power. In part 2 is an extract from an interview of Umberto Eco. The interview shows the philosopher, academician, and novelist. Let's move on for the part 1 of interview. Interviews are commonplace these days. Those who look at interviews positively consider them as a source of truth and an art. Among the negative views on interviews is the opinion that they are an unwanted, unprovoked, and unnecessary intrusion and invasion into a man's private life. They leave people wounded and wrecked. There are some who have even described interviews as an ordeal and a thumbprint on their windpipe. But in the modern world, interviews are a supremely serviceable medium of communication and help to create impression of our contemporaries. The interviewers holds a powerful position and influence. In part 2, it is an excerpt from an interview of Professor Umberto Eco. In his interview with Mukund, Umberto talks about his interest, his style, and the success of the Name of the Rose. He says that his chief interests are philosophical and ethical, and these are also the dominant themes of his academic work and novels. Even his books for children are about nonviolence and peace. He says that there is a playful and personal quality in his work, which is an adapted one. He discovered his style when he submitted his doctoral thesis. His thesis told the story of his research, his trials and errors. He then developed on his taste for narration. Hence, his academic works are not dry and boring. He elaborates how he utilizes even the briefest gaps in between two different pieces of task that gives fallacious impression to other people that he is doing so many things. He calls these gaps interstices. Working together, these interstices makes him work wonders. The Name of the Rose was a brilliant success and brought him spectacular fame. Though murder mystery within detective yarn, it is essentially a novel, but about culture and delves into metaphysics, theology, and medieval history. Its success could possibly be because of the difficult reading experience and interpretive reading that is offered to the reader who did not always seek easy reading experiences. That's all in this. As this year in 2020-21, this chapter is omitted from the syllabus, so that's why I have presented the summary of it. Thank you. See you in the next one.